Infosys provides world-class online IT training, staffing, and software testing solutions to customers worldwide. H2K Infosys, how we are different from our competitors. 100% job-oriented training, hands-on project work, cloud test lab, resume preparation and review, mock interviews, robust syllabus, one-time fee and lifetime access to classes, access to recorded sessions of live classes. H2K Infosys has won the trust of thousands of students worldwide. For a free demo class, visit us at h2kinfosys.com.
Start up with the program again. All right. So in the previous example, we were discussing basically about a class animal, okay, and we were talking about an enum that is your length, okay, animal length. Now we were even speaking about a human, okay, let's say a person who is actually creating an animal. Now, and we were saying that let's say he's an old person, or let's say experienced animal creator, okay. So he's an experienced animal creator, and he knows that what kind of animal I can create basically, right? And instead of let me just push all these things in the previous order. So he knows that if it is a small animal, it is 1. If it is a medium animal, it is 2, and if it is a okay, sorry. Okay, if it is a small, if it is small, it is 1. If it is your let me toggle this. If it is a medium animal, it is 2, and if it is your large animal, it is 3 here. Okay, so let me change the constructors also accordingly. Let me go here, and I have got a constructor here, and copy this and push it here.
Hello Jairam, I can't see the current page that you're
Oh, sorry. Okay, we don't see you typing. Okay, is it good now?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Yeah. All right. So okay, again, let me recap. I was actually talking about creating an animal class here, wherein first you create an animal here, and you just print the behavior. Okay. And in the animal class, we had something like I want to create an animal with some initial size in it. So here I created an animal initially with a int value here, okay, and the size of the animal here. So let me go turn back this to integer here, okay, and let me push everything. Let me copy all these things and push it here. And I want to say if the length of the animal is 1, or if it is 2, or if it is 3. Okay, so this was the initial part which we did in the previous example, wherein what you do is being a experienced animal creator, he knows if I say 1, it basically creates an animal as Pomorian. On that Pomorian, when you say print my behavior, let me even run this. Let me check the code again. So everything is fine. You have when you use the constructor to initialize the value here, right? So I'm using a constructor here in order to initialize an animal. Okay, with some animal here, and when I say 1 2 3, it all comes to your animal class, and it initializes that particular animal, the length of the animal, and depending on the length of the animal, if it is 1 2 or 3, it is going to print I'm a Pomerian, I'm a rat, or I'm a tiger here. Okay, so until then I'm good here. I'm just invoking this print my behavior method from where? From my experience animal creator. That's what I'm doing it here. Okay, so when I say print my behavior of Pomorian, because I know that I've created this Pomorian with size 1, so right click, run as Java application. You basically say I'm the length, my length is 1, I am a Pomorian animal. Okay, the same thing, it happens for others also. If I uncomment this and right click, run as Java application. Oh, okay, 1 second. Okay. So here, when I invoke the print my behavior method, depending on what kind of object it is. Okay. So if you come here, if you are creating an object with the initial length as 2, it basically goes here and checks, okay, what is the length of the instance variable, right? So as you know, in every class, you will be having an instance variable. That's what you are interested in here. Okay. So depending on, you are not interested in any other properties here. You are only interested in the length behavior. Okay. So depending on your property length, you are just telling what is the behavior of that animal. Okay. So till now I'm good here. When let's say one more new person comes in, let's say he's not so experienced guy. So I'm just saying non-experienced animal creator. Okay. So he is a non-experienced animal creator, and when he comes here, and what he does is, he basically again does the same thing. He creates an animal. Let's say he creates an animal with 1. Okay, he is good now. So when he says 1, basically he is trying to create a Pomorian. Okay, and on this Pomorian, he is going to say POMO dot print my behavior. Okay, all of a sudden, what he does is he basically says that dino equals to, sorry, animal dino equals to new of animal, and he is giving a value of 4. Okay, now right click, run as Java application. What he sees only the behavior of a Pomorian, right? And he comes to see that, okay, I have even created this one, why nothing is coming up for me. Okay, now here what's happening is we are actually giving a flexibility, or this is kind of an issue, or we are giving maybe a method, or maybe a constructor, or anything to pass on dynamically, wherein it is not even supported in the underlying class here, right? Now what do we need to do in this case, right? So that was the main concern here. So let me as of now comment all these things, okay, and go back to the animal class. So in my animal class, what I'm going to do is, instead of having a constructor which is going to take an integer, right? So what are we going to do is, we are going to pass on another data type. So what is the data type? The data type is your animal length. Okay, so I'm saying here, what all the length you pass a particular animal length itself. Okay, so let me even comment this out and create a data type as animal length. So copy this and paste it here. So what did I do? I created an instance variable of type animal length. As I said, every instance variable will be having its own type. Okay, and here in this case, when you say print my behavior, what do you do basically? Okay, now here as an experienced animal creator, what I'm doing is, I do not have any of the constructor who's taking an integer, right? So what am I doing? Am I supposed to pass on a data type which is similar to the one which is passed in to this particular constructor, right? So here I am giving an animal length as a constructor. The same thing I'll be using it in my client program. Okay, so this is an experienced animal creator. He is well aware that, okay, when I say length dot let's say small, okay, he's good here. Copy this, length dot medium, length dot large. Okay, so I got all the required information for this, and he says small, medium and large. So I come back to the animal, and let's talk about the behavior right now. So I'm going to say here, instead of 1 equals to length, I'm going to say the actual enum data type. Okay, so as you know, the length, this length is actually what? It is an enum data type here, right? So the moment you invoke this particular constructor for each and every object, so this length will be initialized with the size what you have passed on from the client program here. Okay, small, medium or large. So ultimately you create an animal object, or an animal object wherein you're having a color, length, and the breed and length is of a particular type. Okay, so let me comment this piece of code. Okay, this is of no use now. and I'm good right now. So the moment I check length, it's a Pomerian, rat, or tiger. So let me come back to the experienced animal creator, right click, run as Java application. Okay. Now I'm getting my length is small. I'm a Pomerian. My length is medium. I'm a rat. What's happening with this? Okay. Come down. Okay. Now what's the problem with this when I say tiger? So let me see what is happening here. Right click, run as Java application. So it says small, it says medium. What's the problem with this? So let's go and see that. Let's go and click on this. Okay, so I have to say it as large, right? Now I'm forcing a user. Let me go back and run this application again. Right click, run as Java application, right? So I got all the desired results here. Now, even being a non-experienced animal creator, right? He cannot say something like animal Pomo equals to new animal, right? So what he has to do, he should, before even writing the code, before even calling the behavior, he first should make sure that his compilation is proper, right? So in order to do that, he has to understand that what all things I have to pass here, right? So in order to create a animal with Pomerian, he should know that, or he is compulsion to pass on a particular data type here itself. Okay, now what is that? I'm going to say animal length dot, let me copy this. Okay, animal length dot small. All right, now what am I doing? I'm basically forcing any of the guy or any of the client or any of the program to, whenever they use your animal, they are bound to use your particular data type here. Apart from that, they cannot use anything else, right? So here, whenever I run this particular program, I see my desired result here. Okay, but if I would have passed here 4 or 2 4 or more than that, I basically will not get any results here. Okay, and moreover, I'll be getting a compilation issue first of all. Okay, is it pretty much clear what is the use of an enum data type here? Right? So if you talk about an integer data type, you may misuse that particular particular method or particular behavior. Okay, so in order to not to misuse a particular behavior, you basically use a enum data type. Okay. Okay. Okay, the length. There was a question to show the class for your animal length. Okay, so this is an animal length wherein I'm basically defining a small, medium, and large. Enums are widely used in companies these days. Okay, they don't use constants. They basically go ahead and use enums. Okay. Now, moreover, if you see here, if I use a constant here, right, I can say create a constant and I can say here 1, 2, and 3. But for me, small is more meaningful, medium is more meaningful, large is more meaningful. Okay. So whenever you get a practice, whenever you create something like this, or let's say if you have these kind of requirements, and let's say, for example, you want to create a month, okay, and you know that you want to pass month as an input. Yeah, these codes are checked in. If you can take the latest one, you can get the information. Okay, so let's talk about month here. If you talk about a month, you basically say January, February, March, April, right? So it'll be more meaningful in order to pass a month instead of passing 1, 2, 3, 4 to the API. Okay, what do you mean by API here? Here in this case, my API is print my behavior, right? Now even I could have done it in this way. I mean, instead of having the constructor here, I can pass on the information in the API also. So I can have a method and I can pass anything over here. Okay, so you can even pass on any information here and you can even invoke it. So my main objective of saying here is, if suppose you want to print the particular month, I can say here as month enum. Okay, so I'll be having a month enum wherein you'll be passing the months and you'll be having some behaviors out here. Okay, So this will be kind of an assignment for you. Create a, okay, let me, there's a question here. So it means it's taking data from all three programs belong to the same class. No, it means that it's taking data from all three programs belong to the same class. Harpreet, what is that? Can you just elaborate it?
Means actually our main program is animal. Then we have created animal length, and then we have created non-experienced animal creator.
Uh-huh.
So it is at the end when we are talking about non-experienced animal creator,
Uh-huh.
it's taking the data from animal length also, and then same as from animal program.
No. See, here the objective is to say you here that if suppose in the previous example we have passed 1, 2, 3, 4, right? When we passed 1, it is okay, right? But when he passes 4 in the previous session, what we spoke about even before implementing the enumeration, if you are passing 4 here, right? What happens basically? And let's say if I'm having only 1, 2, and 3 here, if you see this example which is commented out, now 4 is nowhere been handled by this piece of code, right? You know that your program is only handling 1, 2, and 3. But if you are a user, right? Who is a user? My experienced animal creator is a user here, and a non-experienced animal creator is also a user here, okay, or a client basically we'll say. Okay, from now whenever we write these kind of programs, we'll say it is a client because it is just a class wherein we are actually invoking the other classes. Okay, now here in this case I am 4, I mean if he pushes 4 here, basically there is nothing to handle here because we are only handling 1, 2, and 3. So we are basically forcing the user to pass a particular data type itself. They have to either pass small or medium or large here. Okay. Right. So animal.length, animal.small equals to 1. Do we have to say animal dot? No, we don't have to say animal length dot small unless and until you want to actually get that particular data type here. Okay. Let's say for example there was a question here, do we need to say okay, let me go back here, okay, so here the length, okay, so here I've got animal length and I've just told small, medium, and large. Okay, and if you see now this is by itself a kind of a data. Okay, now here in the animal.class I have already created a data type as animal length. So the moment you pass anything here, so directly you see animal.length.small and you're comparing it along with your instance variable here. Okay, I just started classes today. Can you please give a high level overview? I have done C++ development while ago. Okay, Aravind, we haven't come to the polymorphism concept much about it. Okay, just stay tuned. We'll be discussing much on that as well. Okay. Still there are a lot of examples which are coming in, so just stay tuned. Okay. All right. So here, okay. Okay. Now come here. I can say dot value. Okay. I cannot basically say value because if you see here in this animal class, I do not have anything as value. Okay, I need to say if you see I have a variable as size here. Okay, now I can use this size. Let's say if I want to print this value, let me only talk about enum here. There is no other confusion. I hope everybody understood this concept of why do we need to use a enum data type, right? Is there anyone who didn't get what is the use of an enum data type here? I see only one yes.
Please repeat.
Okay. All right. Yeah, so the main purpose of enum data type is to make sure the data which you pass is of some use, okay, and you do not misuse the input for a particular user. Now the input here is your either small or medium or large here. Okay, apart from this you cannot add any kind of inputs here. So we are basically restricting the user to add a particular data type. And if I use, let's say let's say for example, I have here as integer, right? And from my experienced animal creator or from a non-experienced animal creator, I can basically pass 4, 5 or anything apart from 1, 2 and 3. Okay. So we are basically restricting the user not to use any other data types. All right. It's like a switch statement, but for instantiation. Not switch statement. Okay. Still a bit confused on how to get the enum value. Do we need to say or dot? No. Okay. Yeah, we'll get into it. Okay. Okay. There was a question here. How do we get the enum value? Do we need to say animal length dot small dot size? We don't have to say here. It automatically, if you see here, let us go back to the animal. Now let me push it back. Okay. Now, if I take an example here, if I say int I equals to 10, right? And if I say int j equals to 10, right? How do you compare these two values? You basically say if I equals to j, right? So this is how you basically compare two similar data types, correct? So this is an integer, this is an integer, and you compare it accordingly. Cannot see it. What do you cannot see? You cannot see the screen. You're typing. Is there anyone who's having the same problem? Paused. I'm good. Okay. Keith, you're still not able to see? I'm good. Okay, now, all right. Now, see what you're doing here. You're basically comparing two data types here, right? Now, when I create an animal, okay, let me even comment out all these things. And simply say Pomerian.printMyBehavior. Now, what you're saying here, you're basically creating an instance variable here, animal, right? And then you are calling your printMyBehavior. All right. So what basically is going to happen here? You are creating an in the memory. You're basically creating an instance variable here, and it has got some of its features, right? So you're saying you're just initializing the length here. Now, what is the length? Length is of some data type here. So you have got your animal length out here. Okay, so this is your animal length, and this is only one object you have created. Now, when I'm printing the printMyBehavior, or when I'm accessing my printMyBehavior, what's happening here? Already you have your instance variable here, that is your length. On that particular instance variable, I'm again saying animal length dot small. Okay, it is going to compare whether these two values are same or not. Okay, so dot length, what is this length? If I'm passing the let's say from this particular program, I'm saying small, right? So this particular instance variable will be having a value of small. Okay, so I'm just coming in here and comparing these values here. If it is small, print this. If it is medium, print this. If it is large, print this. Okay, now you don't have to say anything as a dot get value because you are directly taking the length as a particular data type. Okay, but coming on to your question, to clarify a question here, okay, now let's say I am saying here, just watch it closely guys here. Okay, now let me even comment this out and keep it as it is. Now, instead of saying small, I want to say if it is 1, if it is 2, if it is 3, right? Now, how do I accomplish my behavior? I don't want to change this value the way I have it on the left hand side. I don't want to change these values, right? in this case, what you will do is on the length. Now, what is that? I'll just say get size. Okay. Now, what is this get size? If you go and check your this particular data type, and if you go to this particular class, there is already a method which says get size. Now, what is a get size? Get size will ultimately give you the size of that particular value. Okay. Now, the same thing I'll say here, dot get size. Okay. And here also I can say dot size also I can say basically. Okay. We'll talk about it. Why I don't want to say size. Usually when we talk about private, public and protected, we'll talk about those things. Usually in a particular class we make this as a private. We'll keep this topic for other discussions. Okay. So here just to say you, I can even say get size and dot size also. But when I say size, what it returns? It basically returns a integer value. Okay. So when you say size, you cannot compare this with what? With this particular data type. This is a data type of type animal length. Okay. So you cannot say something like animal length dot small equals to animal the length of the animal dot size, because the size basically gives you an integer. Okay. Get size basically gives you, yes, the value of the small of 1 is actually 1. Okay. You can access those values directly by saying length dot size or dot get size also. Alright. So if you want to access it with the help of your integer, you can do it in this way also. Alright. So 3 ways of implementing it. One, if you just have your integer data type as an instance variable, you can use your this if and else condition. If you have an instance variable of type small, medium or large, you can access this. Or if you want to compare it with the actual size of the actual size of your variable, okay, you can access it by doing this. But usually you do not do it in this way. Okay, this is not a good practice of doing whenever you use an enum. This is always a good practice of doing it. Yeah.
In the talk that you just done.
Can you be allowed a bit? Hello. I don't hear you. I think. Yeah. Yeah, Madhu, please go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. The top commented that 1 equal to length dot get size.
Mm-hmm.
The one I can say animal length dot medium dot get size. Can I do that?
Yes, you can say that. Okay. So here I can just say small. Let's say we are talking about this one. But what is the use? Okay. So yeah, we can do that.
I'm trying to
Dot
understand actually
get
what is small.
size. Okay. So small is nothing but it's 1.
Okay.
Okay. So medium is nothing but it is 2. Large is nothing but it is 3.
Right.
Okay.
So basically, those small, large, and medium, those are the already created instance of the enums.
Enums.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Okay, so I'm going to check in this file. I would request you guys to take this example and create a copy. Is there any questions, everyone?
Yes.
Yeah.
Madam, why do we use this getter method?
Okay, usually it's not a good practice. Okay, we'll still have a discussion, but again, just to tell you, it's not a good practice to access your instance variable directly. It is always a good practice to access it from your get size. Okay, I can directly say it as here the way I did as where it is. Okay, length dot size also I can say. Okay, but I don't want to do by size. I would just want to say dot get size. Okay, both are same, and you basically do not expose your instance variable directly. This is a variable which I'm having, okay, and I don't want to expose this altogether. All right, and instead of exposing it, I'll just make it as a private. So we'll see about all these keywords, public, private, and protected, in the further classes. All right, wherein you'll see whenever you create any kind of variables in a class, you basically make them as private. All right, you never will give the access to any of the instance variable directly to anyone else. Okay.
Yeah, but I don't understand how the user, like we want to get a size, right, from the user.
Mm-hmm.
How the user uses this, how we make him use this method.
Which particular method? Get size?
Yeah.
See, at times what happens is, let's say you are, okay, so you have this animal right now, okay. Now in this animal there is already a behavior wherein you are only checking for a size, okay. Now let's say you are getting an input from some external source, and that input is 1, okay, and this input is nowhere related to any kind of data type you have it. Now how do you come, let's say, and in this case, now, okay, let's take the same example here. You have got print my behavior. All right, now in your print my behavior, as of now you already have a method which you can control your method by saying whether it is a small or it is a medium or it is a large, okay. But these values, let's say if you get these values in dynamic, and these value will be always integer. Let's say here in this case I'm going to say, let me copy this entire method, I don't want to disturb this one, and paste it here, and let me overload this particular method. So I'm going to just commenting out this method, and okay, now I'm going to make this method as int I, okay, and what is this? Duplicate method. Is there any method? Okay, I think already there is a method, so let me invoke this one, comment this out. All right, now I have got a method print my behavior, but here I'm passing what? I'm passing an integer, right? Now what is my objective is, the moment I create an instance of my animal, I just want to say print my behavior, and I want to give some numbers, whether it is 1, 2, or 3. All right, now I'm just saying this one because I want to compare this with the data type what you already have it, okay. So usually whenever, here in this case, just for the sake of giving an example here, if somebody is passing 1, okay, or and somebody is passing 2 or 3 or anything else, right? How do you compare this particular value with the small or medium? Here, when I say print my behavior, I have got 1. Now my objective is to compare this integer value, okay. So instead of okay, so take this. So I'm basically checking the value of I with the size here, right? And now here in this case, I cannot say the length. I cannot say length here, right? And I cannot say length here. Let me comment out the other part of the program here, right? Now you are helpless because there is a program which is already giving you only that integer data type here. All right, and how do you get the actual value of this length, right? In order to get the actual value of the length, you have to actually say dot get size, okay, or dot size, okay, dot get size. Did you get it, what I'm trying to say here?
Yeah.
Okay, so but usually it doesn't happen, but still in the real time, if suppose you do not have the control on this particular input, because it's all user let's say I have already developed this particular method, okay, but you are just doing some implementation inside, you will never go ahead and change the signature, because the signature, if you change the signature, in a lot of places you will start changing the signature, okay, but you want to do some implementation inside this. So for that reason, you, instead of using a data type here the way we did it here, it is a good practice. But if suppose you are helpless or you do not have the access to change the signature over here in this way, you basically say on that particular object, just say get size. So this get size will give you what? A integer data type of that particular enum. Okay, so this is an enum class and this is an enum for me. All right. What is the length here represents? Length is the instance variable of this particular class. I can make it as length, I can make it as size, I can make it as anything else here. Okay, anything. So this is your instance variable of this particular animal class. Okay, let's move on.
I just, Gela, how did you change that? Or you just changed one and then everything changed, like.
Yes, I clicked on this and did a Alt, Shift and R. Okay, Alt, Shift and R at the same time. So what you can do, Alt, Shift R and say LENGTH. Okay, so in order to change all the instance variable of that particular kind, you can just do it in that way. All right. Okay, so I'll check in the file later at a later point of time. Okay. I think we had enough discussion about enum. I hope no one forgets what is enum. Okay. All right. Okay. Now we'll discuss something. We'll discuss how to pass an object as a parameter. Okay. Now we'll see that. Okay. So let me create a new package here. And say finish. So new class. Okay, so till now in the previous examples, we have seen, if you see this example, we have passed what? A particular data type here. Okay, there is an integer, or we can pass any kind of other data also. Now let's see how we can pass an object as a parameter. All right. So coming here, let me create a class here, new class. Let me make this class as computer. Finish. And computer has got its own property. Let's say string type int size and let's say screen resolution. Right. So I'm just going to say 100, 200 or whatever it is. Okay. Now what am I going to do? I'm just going to have a constructor here. So just a default constructor, nothing else. Okay, let me initialize this with some values here. Let me say here string type int size and string screen resolution. So you basically say screen resolution equals to screen resolution this dot size equals to size this dot type equals to type. Okay. And from this particular client class, why do I say client? Because this is just a client program wherein I'll just create an object of your computer. Okay. And I'll have one more class here, new class. I'll just say it as print computer. Okay. And in this print computer, I'll just say print void print computer. Okay. So what am I going to do here? I will try to only print the computer here, the value of the computer. Now, before that, let me just say int I. Okay. And from my here, what I can do, I can just say print computer. Let's say this is just a printer equals to new print computer. Right? And if I say printer dot, it has got a lot of other methods. We'll still have a discussion. Okay. I just invoke this and just say pass 10 here. So the moment I pass 10 here, what basically happens, it goes to a print computer, and in your print computer, I'll just say system.out.println. Right. And I just say I here. Right. So value of this is okay. So the one value which I pass it here, which we basically say it as a primitive data type. Okay. And from this particular class, I'm basically invoking the print computer, and the moment I invoke this, I'm sure that it is going to print the value. Cancel. I'm getting some compilation issues. Okay, let me comment it out. All those things. Okay. So come here, right click, run as Java application. So I know I'm going to print it in this way. All right. Now the same thing I can do here. Instead of passing a print computer, I can basically pass a computer here. As I said, every class is by itself a data type. Okay, so I'm just saying a computer. Okay, now here what am I going to do? I'm just going to say computer dot screen resolution /n. So it's actually a new line character. Dot size dot type. Right. So what do I do right now? Format this. So from my object parameter passing, what I'll do, the first thing is I'll just create a computer object here. And I know when a moment I create computer, I have to say type, size, and resolution. So let's say this is your HP. Size is, let's say, 24 inch, and resolution is a string again. So I'll just say 1024. Okay, and the same object. Okay, what I'm going to do is, because I've changed the signature of this print computer, I'm going to pass the reference here. Okay, I'm not passing the object here. I'm passing the object reference here. Okay, so what happens when I run this? Right click, run as Java application. It basically prints me the value of this computer property. Okay, so what did I do here? I just passed this object reference in here. Okay, so in this print computer, I am basically printing all the properties of the computer. All right, now okay, see, what am I doing here is, every time, let's say I'm having one more method, void print again. So what I have to do in order to print the computer properties again, I have to copy this, paste it here. Okay. I'm going to pass this one here. Okay. Now we can have a common method also. What we can do here is we can have a, let's say, common printer. So I can copy this particular method. Now folks, we are only talking about the methods right now. Okay. And at the same time, we are even talking about how to pass a parameter as an object reference. Now here what I can say, I can just say this is a common method, and the moment what I can do, the moment anyone calls a print computer, I will just say common method here. That's all. Okay. Now in this common method, I'll just pass on the computer reference. So what basically happens from your object parameter passing, when you are passing this reference, okay, see your object is already created in the memory. Your object is already created in the memory, and you have already created a reference as COMP here. Okay, that's what you see it here. The same reference is being passed to different methods. Okay, you're not passing the entire object to all the methods. Okay, instead you're passing the reference to different methods here. Okay, but your object has already been created once. So you say print computer. So in your print computer, again you are calling one more method here, and this method is again doing the same functionality. All right. Now again from your print again, if somebody calls a print again, I'll just say printer dot print again, and I pass the same computer. Okay, let me pass it as COMP. And what I can do, I have already this common functionality, common method here. So I'll just copy this here and paste it here. All right. So already a common method is there. I am just trying to invoke the particular method from here. Why? Because let's say print again is having some other extra functionality apart from common method. Okay. And here I just want to say system sysout, and I just want to print here I am here again. Okay. So I cannot, I don't want to add it over here because when you say print computer, I want to give some other message apart from here again. I'm just want to say I am the real printer. Okay. So only this messages changes, but these messages are all same. All right. So we'll see how it works. It's pretty plain and simple. Right click, run as Java application. Right. So the same thing happens. You basically print it two times. One from your the print computer method. One is from your print again method. All right. Now the concern is in your print computer, okay, no doubt you're passing the object as a reference here. Okay. Now let's say what happens if in this particular method, when it comes to your print computer, right, because from your object parameter passing, the very first time you invoked your print computer here. Okay. And then you are passing the same reference. See, you are created a reference here once, passing the reference to your print computer, and the same reference you are passing it to the print again. All right. So let's go back to the print computer. What happens if I change any of the parameter in my computer? I just say computer dot size equals to 100. Okay. Update virus protection. Okay. So what happens basically? Let's see the output of this particular program. Right. So even printing this, I just want to say /n. And let me remove this new line character from here. All right. Now let's see what's going to happen right now in your object parameter passing class. So I just right click run as Java application. Right. So initially it was 24 in, right? So when it came to your print computer, it was 24 because it invoked the common method. This common method has printed your size, type, and resolution. And then after that, exactly after that, you have basically your computer.size. So here in your computer.size, what you're doing, you're basically reassigning the value of size to something else, that is your 100 here, right? And then again, what happens, you know, the print again method is getting called, right? So the moment your print again method is called, it has already the changed value which you have changed in your print computer. Okay, so when you pass as a reference, you can do any sort of manipulation. I did some manipulation in the existing object itself, and I passed on the reference to some other method here. Okay, and the same method, and when I'm printing it, it is giving me a different value here. Okay, so when you pass as a reference, you can do any manipulation. Let's say you're passing this. Before that, you want to do some manipulation. Depending on your logic, you can do the manipulation here and then pass it again. Okay. Any questions on this from anyone?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I just want to ask, is it not going to change the value in the print computer only? There is changing the value in print again command, but not it's not changing in print computer for the first one only.
No, first one it won't change, because the first, when you're invoking this, it is invoking this method. Okay. After invoking this method, then only you're doing some changes here. If you change it here, if you just toggle it here, then it will be reflected to both the methods. Okay, even the print computer or print again here.
Okay, got it.
Okay. So this is all about references, and if you see everything is reference here, this is a reference and this is an object. Okay, so be very careful and be very attentive when you talk about reference or object. So this is always your reference, and you never pass an object. Basically, you always pass a reference to that particular object here. Okay, now here, okay, right click, let me create a computer. Okay, all right, so let me just comment this out. I'm not deleting it because I'm going to check in this file. The moment I create a computer here, I say sys out, and I just want to say comp, right? So when I say comp, I know that my, where is that, print computer, my main objective is to print this particular message. Okay, but I mean, my main objective is that whatever properties are present in a computer, I just want to print those properties. Okay, so if I simply say create an object here and I want to print something here, right click, run as Java application, right? As I said in the previous sessions, you just have the hexadecimal representation of your memory address, right? So where in your memory your object is created, this is the hexadecimal representation of that particular address. Okay, so this is of no use, but I want to print something like a meaningful message whenever I want to print this particular object. Okay, this is very much useful in practical whenever you want to see the object during runtime. For example, if I want to say let's say hello, okay, and let me debug this particular application. Right click, debug as Java application. Okay, so I did a debug right here, and till now the object has not been created, so for that reason on the right hand side you do not see anything here. So do an F6, so it basically goes here at this point of time your object is created. Okay, so this is your object reference, and if you just go inside that, you can basically see all the instance variable of that particular computer class. Okay, but if you want to know the size and type and resolution, you can even very well see those informations here, right? But usually what happens, your length of your instance variable are, I mean, here we have only 3. You may down the line have 100. So you basically scroll down and you want to check on a particular instance variable. Okay. But what my functionality is, I want to just click on this and I want to see all the instance variables here. Okay. Apart from that, if you want to print your object here, we'll see in a lot of other cases down the line also, wherein I'll be just printing the object and I just need some output here. Okay. Okay. My main objective, if I print this particular object, I want to see the actual structure of this particular computer class. Okay. Now let me close this. What do I do in that case? So go to the computer and there is already a method which you have to override. Okay. I'll tell you one important concept here once I teach this. Okay. Now, if you remember in our previous sessions, we have overridden the methods, right? In your super class, you have a method, and did you speak about overriding as well? Can anyone answer me?
Yeah, I think we did, but that was last week.
Not yet. Yes. Okay. So the question is, can everyone type in what is the difference between your overloading and overriding? Just one line. What is overloading? What is overriding? Type in privately. I don't want anyone to see anyone's answer. Don't know. Okay. So, Harpreet, at least do you know what is overloading? Okay. All right. In overriding, method signature should be same. Oops. Okay. You guys are Googling and copying and pasting the answers. Okay, but not in overloading. Okay, so overloading. All right, we just use constructor as overriding. All right. Yes, we did not discuss anything about your overriding at all. Okay, we only spoke about overloading. So we'll do one thing. We'll keep this session for tomorrow, and we'll first discuss about what is overriding, and then we'll talk something about object. Okay, as a class. And then we'll speak about the toString method. All right. Yes, I will check in the file right now, and we'll stop the class here.
H2K Infosys provides world-class online IT training, staffing, and software testing solutions to customers worldwide. H2K Infosys, how we are different from our competitors. 100% job-oriented training, hands-on project work, cloud test lab, resume preparation and review, mock interviews, robust syllabus, one-time fee and lifetime access to classes, access to recorded sessions of live classes. H2K Infosys has won the trust of thousands of students worldwide. For a free demo class, visit us at h2kinfosys.com.